Hey real estate professionals, welcome to Velocity Title's Title Minute. Today you'll be hearing from our expert real estate attorney, Glenn Donaldson. He'll be discussing location surveys. Are they necessary? Stay tuned and you'll find out. At the end, we'll be giving you some contact information so you can send in any questions or comments you might have, and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks so much, and here's Glenn.
Thanks, Lauren, and welcome back everybody to the Title Minute by Velocity National Title Company. I'm Glenn Russell Donaldson, your real estate attorney, and today we're going to talk about surveys. And there are two general forms of surveys. One is a location drawing, and one is an actual boundary line survey staked that actually demarcates the property lines to the property. And many times over my career, I've had real estate professionals and buyers ask me, do I need a survey? And what's the purpose of a survey? And what is the difference between a location drawing and a boundary line survey? So let's just dig right into it. The first point to be talked about is that it used to be lenders would require at least a location drawing, which is effectively a drawing from a vantage point of above the property, and it shows all of the home and other improvements on the property as they are situated on the actual property, and it shows the boundary lines of the property. The location drawing itself would have been a requirement, cost somewhere around $195, $250, depending upon who the surveyor preparing the work was. The secondary survey is called an actual boundary line survey, where the surveyor goes out to physically mark the property and the corners of the property. And what the surveyor is doing is they're marking all corners of the property for their client, which in this case is the buyer, and they're telling the buyer, hey, here's your marked property, and you can clearly see when you visit physically the property that there are no intrusions, no encroachments, or hey, look, that shed is halfway on the neighbor's property line and we have an issue. So what we're really going to be doing is breaking this down to determine whether or not your buyers need a location drawing or need a boundary line survey, and what might be the reasons why. So let's go to the location drawing. If your client is buying a home that may be part of a townhouse community and the location drawing is not a requirement from the lender, then it is likely that you can get away without getting a location drawing done. You can go to the property, you can physically look at it to determine if there's an encroachment from your neighbor. Sometimes if there's a fence that might slightly encroach, you wouldn't be able to determine that, but you can look at it and get a general feel as to whether or not there's any encroachments on that property line. So a lot of times the lenders are not going to require that location drawing, and the buyers opt out not to get a location drawing. If the buyers themselves wanted to put a fence up on the property, they're going to get at minimum a location drawing, and sometimes the fence company themselves is going to require that there be some demarcations on the property itself by a surveyor. So that's a boundary line. Now let's then talk about why you might want to get a location drawing at your or advise your client to get a location drawing at your settlement. And that is when the property might be just slightly larger. You're dealing with a quarter acre, half acre, an acre or more. You really want to get a good feel for where there might be some potential encroachment or some improvement built on a building restriction line or over a building restriction line. Now, when it comes to an actual staked survey, a boundary line, it's going to be quite expensive in most cases and is generally used where people are going to make improvements on that property, a pool, a shed, a fence, something in that along those lines, in that sense, and then they're going to require that is staked out so that the contractor knows exactly where they're allowed to build and disturb on that property. They can be rather expensive if you are dealing with a large piece of property. If it's a 5-acre, 10-acre, 15-acre or more property, get those quotes by the surveyor before you engage that to be done with the title company. It can be thousands of dollars, in fact, to get that done. So you want to make sure that you know what it is that you're looking for, what your clients are looking for, and what their intents with the property are in terms of improvements and or encroachments that might be coming across the property from a neighbor. Those are the reasons you really want to look to a survey, whether it's a boundary line or location drawing. And if you have more questions on that, more detailed questions, please feel free to reach out. You can contact us at contractquestions@velocitytitle.com, or you can call us on our real estate hotline, and that is 1-800-MY-RE-LAW. 1-800-MY-RE-LAW, and we're happy to talk to you. For those who do like the numbers, that's 1-800-697-3529. Once again, I'm Glenn Russell Donaldson, your real estate attorney, and we'll talk again soon.